What does the term media activism mean to you? And do you
Hmm.
practice a degree of that on your show? It's come up a lot.
I don't know how I would define media activism.
Yeah, it's not like, organizing political actions
Oh,
or
I see what you're
anything
saying.
like
Okay,
that,
I
but
thought you meant like Media Matters or something, how they
no.
hold
Mm-mm.
people in the media accountable. I mean, again, there can be crossover. Like, at TYT, we've done town halls for candidates, we've done rallies, we've done, a variety of things trying to boost particular candidates, trying to rally people around specific issues. Like all of that gets into the area of activism, but I always feel like people who that is their life's work are the ones who should be driving that. Like if we can signal boost those people, like if we can interview, Christian Smalls or something and get more people to look into them and more people to, then that's I think a public service. But no, like I would say best case scenario, we platform awesome activists. We try to help, but I don't consider us primarily media activists.
Do
I
you
don't
think
think.
more people should integrate that into their work? Like whether independent media or mainstream legacy media, do you think more people should? I mean, nobody votes, like the
Yeah,
majority of the people do not vote. Do you think maybe something
yeah.
around that, or I don't know? What do you think?
It's funny that that's the example that you bring up because there have been various periods of like controversy in the news, like on what I would consider like the broader left or whatever. Several of the big periods of controversy have been specifically about questions of whether you should vote and if so, for who. Like I remember, like we were attacked endlessly in 2016 for, despite the fact that we supported Bernie and we were one of the first media outlets on the left to really raise up Bernie. Not the first, but one of the first. Um, like I said, I don't, not everybody at the network said, but I said, obviously we cannot allow Donald Trump to get in office. It'll be an absolute disaster. And there's a lot of people whose lives literally hang in the balance. So I don't like Hillary Clinton, but we obviously have to vote for her. That was
Yes.
considered highly controversial. And I was
Yeah.
attacked for literally years over that. And a similar but smaller thing for supporting Joe Biden. Neither of those were candidates that I supported in the primary. They're not candidates that I support going forward. I have others that I'm
Same.
interested in. But I think that, yes, I think for me, it's a big part of the job. I think you should integrate it into, like, if you're making videos or whatever, you're making podcasts, you should integrate it into your work if it's genuine to you. Like Dr. Rashad Ritchie, like he covers a lot of stories and then he wants to help. Like he will talk about people who are suffering personal tragedies, people who've been, victimized by the police or victimized by local governments and stuff like that. And he will very often try to help out, raise money. There was a big water drive when the what do you call it? Local local water system failed, I guess.
Hmm.
But that's very natural for him. He doesn't have to force himself to do it. I think that if it's natural or just focus on the topics that are natural for you, I think that it's good. I don't think that for me, politics should never be just a replacement for watching like reruns of The Office or something. It should be more important than that. It should be entertaining too at times, but it should not just be for fun. It's real. Like the stuff that we talk about is sometimes abstract when we talk about climate change, maybe, but it affects real people's lives.
You know what's fun for me, and this is a little weird. I get it, but like when it's election night, I have like 6 or 7 shows on my screen and then on my TV at the same time, and I'm loving it. And
Mhm.
and I have as much anxiety as anyone watching the numbers come in, right? And watching the polls close, but it is entertaining to sit there and watch all these people. And this is why I do these interviews because after a while, like every now and then I look at the screen and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not watching the damage report. John's here. We're talking," right? Like it's a little surreal. And you feel like you get to know people and you feel like you learn everything there is to know about somebody, right? And I do these interviews because maybe that's not the case. And I don't know if we should feel like that.
Hmm.
But the fact is, you've been on my screen a lot, right? And
Thank
I'll
you.
watch a whole show and then I'll see clips and I'm basically rewatching the show, you know what I mean? And I do